When Megadeth released Rust in Peace in 1990, they didn't just drop another thrash metal album. They set a gold standard, a blueprint for how complexity, aggression, and precision could coexist in thrash music. This record didn't just push boundaries, it redrew the entire map of what thrash could be. To understand why Rust in Peace still matters so profoundly, we have to go back to the chaos that birthed it. Dave Mustaine, the fiery guitarist expelled from Metallica, formed Megadeth with a singular mission to be faster, heavier, and smarter than the band that kicked him out. Through the 80s, Megadeth built a reputation for technical thrash, fueled by Mustaine's rage and perfectionism. But internally, Megadeth was falling apart. Drug abuse, lineup instability, escalating tensions. By the late 80s, the band was on the edge of self-destruction. Enter Nick Menza, a young powerhouse drummer, and soon after Marty Friedman, a guitar virtuoso with a style unlike anything in American metal at that time. Suddenly Megadeth had the perfect lineup: Mustaine's venom, Friedman's exotic melodies, Elfson's thunderous bass, and Menza's precision. Fans now refer to them as the classic lineup.
Of course, back in 1990, you would join Megadeth. And usually that audition tape is available for people to go out and have a look at. So from the outside looking in, it felt like you had a virtually instant chemistry with the band. Did you kind of feel that on the day?
Oh, definitely. I had auditioned for Ozzy Osbourne maybe a year or two before it, maybe more. I don't even remember. And I didn't feel any chemistry in that gig. But when I played with Megadeth, it felt like I was playing like with my friends from high school. Musically, it was just like we already had the shorthand, and when it's so delicate with people you've never played with before, when you suddenly play with somebody and you're already reading each other's minds right there. It's just one of those things. I felt that right away, and our tastes were very similar in the way we like to play, or the way we like to hit the guitars and play with what's the word, authority. Some musicians play really tentatively, like they're really concentrating and they're not sure what they're doing, but like we all played with a bunch of abandon, even the first audition. So it was like, yeah, we're all kind of in the same, cut from the same cloth. I felt that way anyway.
Rust in Peace isn't merely heavy, it's surgically engineered. Thrash metal had always been aggressive, but Megadeth added a new dimension. Music that requires both brain and brawn. The riffs twist and turn in unpredictable time signatures. Solos aren't just fast, they're composed like dueling narratives. Lyrics tackle geopolitics, espionage, and existential dread. Everything is tighter, cleaner, and more ambitious. The album opens with the absolute showstopper, Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. Mustaine's lyrics dive into the real political conflict, Northern Ireland, religious extremism, covert government violence. But the storytelling isn't what makes it iconic, the guitars are. The song is split into two contrasting halves. Hyperspeed thrash transforms into a darker mid-tempo march. Marty Friedman solos glide between Western metal phrasing and Eastern-inspired scales. A signature that separates him from every guitarist of that era. Next comes Hangar 18, a science fiction conspiracy anthem. The track is practically a guitar solo competition, masquerading as a song. Mustaine and Friedman fire off lead breaks like they're trying to outdo each other almost in real time. And somehow it stays cohesive. That balance of rivalry and harmony defines the album. It's the musical equivalent of two fighter jets locked in a dogfight. Across the record, each track showcases a different shade of complexity. Tornado of Souls, a masterclass in riff writing, with a Friedman solo so beloved it's studied like classical composition.
Was so glad to be on a major label, and I loved the music and the guys were cool. But the whole time my arm was completely fucked. My right arm was like completely fucked. The doctor told me, don't play guitar, because if you play guitar, you're going to lose your arm. I mean, it was fucked. And then I went to another doctor, and that doctor says, well, that doctor's correct, but I know that you're going to disregard that. You're going to go into the studio and you're going to play, aren't you? I said, yeah, that's right. So we got to come up with a plan B, and the plan B is like, play as little as you possibly can, only when the red light's on. Don't do a lot of takes. And it was fucked. You know, it was my first chance to be on a major label. I really wanted to put my best foot forward, but I got two doctors telling me that if I fuck up, I'm never going to play again. And of course, I didn't want the band to know that my arm was fucked because I just joined the band. So I'm trying to keep it from them, but it's all in great detail in the book. I mean, but that's basically what I remember of that. I was very happy with how it came out, and everybody was on board with it, and it seemed like, okay, now we're a band, you know.
I mean, it just makes, having known that, well, I mean, just been realized that you've got the arm problem there at that time, and then you go and do the solo for Tornado of Souls, which I believe is completely improvised. How do you go about doing that, and then also having that thing in the back of your mind of, well, I have to be kind of careful?
Well, it's kind of like this. I mean, some producers like to say, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but some producers say that, you know, the first two or three first 2 or 3 takes, those are going to be the best, and everything after that, you're just chasing the energy from the first couple of takes. And maybe sometime that's true, maybe not, but I just didn't really have a choice, and I just played what was natural. Probably given a lot more time, like usual, I would have had time to reflect on things and change things and make things a little bit more to my liking. But just because you fix something to my own liking doesn't mean that the listener is going to like it anymore. I might even have taken things in a completely different direction and turned some people off. So whatever it was a snapshot of that particular time. So it came out how it did. It could have definitely been better. And the record after that was done everything to complete perfection, and, you know, really meticulous, and that was good too. But like, it's really up to the fans what they like better. I was just trying to survive the arm thing without anybody knowing it. Actually, no, I was really the only one who knew it. The engineer didn't know it, although he was a good guy. He probably would have kept my secret if I told him to. I didn't want anybody to know my arm was fucked up, so I was just like trying to act like, yeah, let's do it 1 or 2 takes. But literally, when I record now, it could be 1 or 2 takes, or it could be 300 takes to get what I want.
Wow.
I like having that luxury, but that time I didn't, and that's how it was.
Rust in Peace wasn't just a critical hit, it saved Megadeth's career. It earned Grammy nominations, sold millions, and even people who didn't love thrash had to acknowledge its brilliance. More importantly, it changed musicians. Ask any modern metal guitarist and chances are they've tried, and possibly failed, to master these riffs. Bands from progressive metal to melodic death metal cite it as foundational. It didn't just raise the bar, it became the bar. Rust in Peace is the sound of a band sharpening themselves into a weapon, channeling chaos into something overwhelmingly precise. It's rage, discipline, paranoia and genius all fused into 41 minutes. 30 plus years later, metal keeps evolving, but this album hasn't aged a day, because it wasn't trying to follow a genre, and in doing so, it inadvertently defined one. And as the closing track warns of nuclear doom, the album leaves us with one lingering message. Humanity may always be on the edge of collapse, but there's beauty in fighting like hell against it.